Hello, I am Jiří, CEO and founder of Supernova, and in this video I will show you our new upcoming Raycast extension that we have created. I hope it will help you with the review. There is quite a lot that we have created, so let's get to it. Now, Supernova is a tool that helps designers, developers with their design systems. We have basically created a platform that can do everything from like having your colors, your components, your assets at one place. It has documentation, it has code automation, there is quite a lot. And what is really important is that a lot of companies currently are using us. A lot of companies talk about Raycast as well. So we've decided to create this extension. Now, Supernova extension is all about searching your data and using the data somewhere. So like accessing your code components and using them in your code base, downloading your assets, or maybe searching the documentation. Now I will start by saying I would like to search a documentation, for example. And as you will see, we have created our own onboarding experience instead of default one. This is simply to help our enterprises to make this process much easier. So there is some explanation how stuff should be done. If I go, let's get started, you will see that we explain how to access your token, how to get the authentication and so on. Again, everything just to make it very easy for users to start with that, because we in general, while we have more advanced users, it's not always that they can do stuff like this. So in here, I have to get an authentication key. I have Supernova opened here. I will go to profile settings and authentication, and I will create a new Raycast specific token which we will use to access the data. Now copying the token, I can go and say I have generated my key. It has detected that I've already created or copied that key, so it basically auto logs me automatically. In here I will switch to a specific workspace and also a specific design system. I will use this design system. Now basically I got logged in, and the command that I was originally intended to use is being used. So in here it is now loading my documentation. It basically loads the entire documentation side that the user has to Raycast, and now I can start using and exploring the documentation. There is a really nice search. It renders a markdown. It tells you quite a lot about the content that you have. In fact, everything what you would normally get from a documentation site. If you are not happy with just using the Raycast and all the data that you have here, you can also go and open a documentation site, like a full-fledged site where you have much better experience, of course, because this is not just Markdown but the entire site. Next up, we also have a search across the content of the design system. So in here first we can search for tokens, basically everything from colors to measures to typography. It's really nice. You can copy the CSS, let's say, you can copy different definitions, tells you which colors are have accessibility features correctly and which are not. There is also a lot of types of tokens. We have quite extensive platform, so in this regard you can maybe, let's say, go to typography, and in here you will see which fonts you should be using, what sizes, stuff like that. Of course, we are using the latest and greatest from Raycast, so everything is cached, and it is a really nice, really fast experience. As you can see, after the first load, it is pretty much instantaneous. You can also search for assets. So in here, I'm able to basically go through my icons. Let's say that I want publish. You can see that I have them in two different variants, and I can say, well, maybe I want to copy it to my file system or to my clipboard, or I can download it, which will then allow you to access that file or do stuff with this. And finally, we also have search for components. I think this is the most interesting part, because it allows you to access all of your components from your code bases, including stuff like documentation, preview. You can open a Figma from it. So let's say that I have a button that looks like this. I can say, give me a Figma link and open this inside Figma, right? So it opens Figma file, and it basically would locate that component. if we just have Figma already opened. And there is also the option to open a documentation. Again, for the component, you can open the documentation inside Raycast and stuff like that. And there is also option to switch the design system. A lot of users do have different design systems, so you can actually go again through that onboarding flow, but maybe in a little bit of simplified form, and you can select a different design system again using your token. Finally, for a lot of users, we also have logout, which will basically remove the API key on your behalf from Supernova. This is mostly due to security reasons. Users have to have some way how to remove it. I hope that you like this extension. We have certainly spent a lot of time on it, and it was great exploring Raycast as well. So I hope that you will pass the review with this. Have a nice day, and thank you very much.